Hi and welcome back. This is the final in the short series of videos on how the internet works, and in this video we're finally going to put to rest all the misconceptions, the misunderstandings about URLs. As you probably remember, in a previous video we talked about domains being similar to the address in a phone book, where in the website it would take you to the address would be your domain site, your main web-based site. And also we mentioned that every page has its own URL, its own unique address, and that address will not be seen anywhere else on the World Wide Web. And it's important to stress that every page, every bit of content, every image, every video that you see anywhere on the World Wide Web is unique. And once again, we'll go and have a look at a few examples in a moment that will clearly define what we're talking about here. So videos and images, as we said, have their own unique URL. And let's just look at a very basic example here where your domain site, your base website, that's the domain you went and purchased at something like Namecheap or wherever you would go to do it, and that's your base website. Think of that as your base address, your base URL, and then as we progress you might add a video or another website page where you have a video on it, or maybe an image, and those particular pages in themselves are a unique URL. If we were to dress it down further and go and see just the image itself or the video itself, you'll find that they will also have a unique URL, and that's what we're about to do. We'll go and have a look at some examples which I think will clearly show you what we mean by unique address or unique URL. And just as we go through these examples, just as we've said there, just remember to look at it that anything you see on the web has its own unique URL. So let's go to a very common site, Google, probably one of the most well-known websites on the internet. This is actually the Australian domain of Google, and you'll see I just highlighted there, that's their domain, their base website, google.com.au. And if we were to type in anything in here and go to other pages, you'd find they would also have unique URLs. But let's just, in this instance, we'll go to the video site, and let's just type in something like horse will do, see what comes up. So we'll just go, and there's a list of all the videos that have horses. This is actually a domain in its own right. That's rather a URL in its own right, and there's the URL address of this particular page with all these thumbnails of horses. So if we were to click on this horse, this image here, you'll see that this URL changes, and there it is, goes to a completely different site. So we'll just pause it there. Now it takes us actually to what would be a mini website with this video embedded in it and a whole pile of thumbnail images on the right hand side, and that is the URL up there of this particular website. It's unique and it won't be seen anywhere else on the internet. Now let's just do a right click and copy the video URL, and we'll paste that over the top of this one, and you can see it changed. And what we'll do when we hit the enter button and bring this up, it actually brought up the video itself, albeit with these images on the side. So this was more specific to this this particular video, and all these thumbnails here are just images, and each one of those images has its own unique URL should we decide to go on that. And click on those. But what we'll do is we'll actually just go back to Google and go to the image of, say, once again the horse. In this instance we'll bring up, let's say we bring up this horse here, and what happens, once again, a mini website comes up with this horse sitting over the top of it, so to speak, the image of the horse. So we have up here, we have the URL of that website, not of the horse. The horse is included in that website, but if we were then to right click on this image of the horse and copy the image location, put it up here and overwrite that, you can see we get a completely different address up there. That is actually the URL, the address of this image, and if we were to go ahead and go in there, you'll see that we've came right back just to the image. So now we have a URL of that image. So that's just reinforcing what we were saying, that every bit of content, every image, every video on the internet has its own unique URL. And if we were to go back one step, you can see it changes back to we get the URL of the website, and that's a very lengthy one. Let's hope we never have to physically type that in. That might be a bit of a... anyhow. So you can see there that every content, every bit of content, every image, every video, every website has its own unique URL. And it doesn't matter where you go, anywhere at all that you try to go, you will come up with a completely unique address showing up here in the address bar, unique to that specific thing or site that you're actually seeing on your monitor at that very time. So hopefully that will give you a good insight into what URLs actually are, and I think once again we'll just make a note of this very last line, that anything you see on the website has its own unique URL, its own unique address that doesn't occur anywhere else on the World Wide Web. So that brings us to the end of our short video series on how the internet works. Certainly hope you enjoyed it, and I certainly hope it cleared up a few of the misconceptions that you may have had. I know we certainly had them when we first started out, as most people do, all the new technology, etc. If you do have any questions at all, or if there's something you'd like to have further explained, by all means go onto our blog and just leave a comment in our question and answer section, and we'll gladly get back to you with the answers and anything else that we may be able to help you with. So once again, thank you for joining us on this series, and we look forward to seeing you on the further series that we have to do with internet marketing. Thank you, and bye for now.